out of all the Christian sex tips, this one tip has been the most beneficial tip to my clients. And I know we're online, but as soon as you hear it, don't click out. Actually give us a chance, hear us out, wait around to the end as well to learn how to execute it.
And after that, we're going to share with you our brand new course, all designed around intimacy.
Okay, so here it is. Do not click off. Basically, scheduling.
Yes.
Scheduling intimacy, not necessarily scheduling sex, but scheduling intimate times. So putting aside a time that you know is focused on you,
right.
your marriage.
Right.
This is honoring of God, that you have this time that you focus on each other. Now, this needs to be done without the pressure and demand.
Right.
So you're taking off the fact that it has to end with an orgasm or it has to end a specific way, but more that this is a time that you are prioritizing each other,
right.
your marriage. So there you have it.
You're honoring one another in that schedule. You're saying, I'm not only prioritizing my time to be intimate, but I'm really prioritizing my time to connect with you.
Okay, I know. So scheduling sounds so unattractive. That's not how they do it in Hollywood.
Right.
But, you have to think about the practicality, especially if you've been married for a while. You may be having less intimate times than you would like, which makes sense with kids, chores, jobs, everything going on.
Right.
It's really easy to take your intimate time and put it low priority.
Right.
And so that causes more tension in the marriage. God designed it. It is powerful. It's beautiful. It's supposed to be a part of your lives.
Right.
And so when you have chaos, anxiety, life, it's harder to find that time where everything lines up just perfectly.
Right.
That you make that space. Now, when it does, by all means,
go for it.
Go for spontaneity, especially my low desire spouse. If you have any inclination towards your spouse, act on it. The high desire spouse will joyfully be super excited. So this isn't about only scheduling time to be intimate.
Right.
It's bare minimum
right.
scheduling time to be intimate. Again, without pressure, without the obligation, without that feeling that I have to do this.
Right.
But more just setting aside that time to really prioritize. So I know it seems weird, but you schedule dates.
Right.
People are like, oh, it's not romantic. Well, but you schedule dinner. And when we go out for dinner, I still have a great time, even though we scheduled the restaurant.
Right.
I scheduled what I was going to wear.
Right.
I got dressed up. Like, I planned it.
Right.
But I still had a great time. And honestly, probably better because I anticipated it.
Right, because you were ready.
So that anticipation is huge. That's so important in being able to set aside this time to prioritize each other. A lot of times too, when you actually start scheduling, it actually increases for both of you the enjoyment of being together.
This is true.
And so a lot of times setting aside that, in a sense, bare minimum time, whatever you guys decide, that bare minimum time of being together, it actually increases spontaneous sex.
It does.
Because you're more excited, you enjoy it, there's more likely that you've been connecting in a good way, that you're going to do it more not scheduled.
I get it. I didn't think it was really that cool of an idea at first either. But honestly, it's really helped us make ourselves a priority.
Because with scheduling is so chaotic. And so let's give you some ideas on kind of how to implement it.
All right, so first, you need to first determine your frequency level or desire and her frequency level or desire. And
you might have to compromise.
Absolutely.
You might be on the same page. Mm-hmm. For a lot of couples, 1 week is a good bare minimum.
Right.
Because again, you add spontaneous on top of that, but you don't have to.
Right.
It's what matters to you, what makes sense to you. Just starting to kind of set aside a time is a great start. And so think also what time of day.
Right.
If you have little people, it may be nap time. It might be in the morning. It may be late at night, but setting aside that time, and this is a discussion to have with your spouse outside of the bedroom.
Right.
So just kind of discuss hey, how are we going to plan this? I think who initiates is important as well. So let's say you put it on the calendar, you've set aside that you're going to do this time of day, but nobody talks about it. Mm-hmm. Well, then it isn't going to happen.
Right.
So set that in part of your planning as well. Is one person going to initiate all the time? Are you going to rotate? Kind of set it up differently. What kind of setting do you want? Do
right.
add some creativity to it? Plan. Give yourself something to anticipate and to look forward to.
And it gives you an opportunity to surprise the other side as well. Like we thought we were just going to have a bubble bath, but I actually took the time to stop and get candles and add candles to the equation as well.
Yeah. So just kind of be creative. Think of those kind of things that make obviously you have to really think of the hindrances as well. So your doors are locked. Your pets are out, all those kind of things that allow for that. And again, This is also without pressure,
Right.
without demand. And then if something is to come up and you have to cancel.
You just
So
reschedule, right?
If you are not feeling it that day, don't go through with it. That begins
Right.
to lead toward duty. Make sure you say, I'm not feeling it tonight. Now, the one who is not feeling it,
Right.
move more to you are now the one responsible for rescheduling.
Oh, that's
so
good.
like,
Yeah.
I don't feel like, tonight. How about next Tuesday? Let's put it on the calendar for another day. And now try not to be doing that continually,
Right,
where
right.
you're always, but if you're not feeling it, you're not feeling it. And
Yeah.
duty sex is not good for your marriage. And so you really want to set aside different times.
And maybe you need to readdress that time. If you're continually canceling on a specific day, well, maybe that day wasn't the best anyway. That there was actually something earlier that day that happens consistently that just throws you off of that mindset. And
You just as you're talking, I was thinking another point to really consider is that if you have a lot of tension in your marriage, if you are going through some serious problems, this may not be the great timing for you to do this. So this is
True.
So this kind of tip is much more for my couples who are getting along well enough, they're enjoying each other, they might have some tension over frequency, but if you are really in a place of honestly disgust with your spouse,
Right.
this isn't a good tip for you. You
No.
probably should go, we have some online therapy that we kind of recommend down below. We're like, do something where you kind of connect and get that emotional connection
That's right.
first.
That's right.
That way you can move into the safe space.
All right, so last, and I think this honestly is probably the most important, make sure that when you're scheduling your intimacy, you are also scheduling time to be emotionally and spiritually connected as well.
Absolutely. And that's part of that kind of intimate time.
Right.
Because especially for most ladies, they don't want to connect physically if you haven't talked to them. They're not
Right.
interested.
Right.
And that's normal. You want to build that emotional connection, especially spiritual connection as well, to truly feel God's design for you.
You want to feel safe with one another.
Yeah.
Spiritual connection is a great way to get in that safe space together.
Subscribe to our
Yes.
channel. So we have faith, marriage, mindset, and intimacy content. We would love for you to join us.
Give us a thumbs up, ring
Yes.
that notification bell so you'll be notified when we drop a new video.
Absolutely. And make sure you share this video with your spouse. That will
Please.
help. So we will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Bye.